ਨਵੇਂ ਨਿਯੁਕਤ ਆਸਟ੍ਰੇਲੀਆਈ T20 ਪੁਰਸ਼ ਕਪਤਾਨ ਮਿਸ਼ੇਲ ਮਾਰਸ਼ ਨੇ ਅੱਜ ਵੀਰਵਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਪਰਥ ਦੇ ਕੋਟੇਸਲੋ ਸਿਵਿਕ ਸੈਂਟਰ ਵਿਖੇ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ। ਜੀ ਹਾਂ, ਮਿਸ਼ੇਲ ਮਾਰਸ਼ ਨੂੰ T20 ਪੁਰਸ਼ਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਪਤਾਨ ਨਿਯੁਕਤ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਇਸ ਮਹੀਨੇ ਦੇ ਅੰਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੈਸਟ ਇੰਡੀਜ਼ ਅਤੇ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਣ ਵਾਲੇ ICC ਪੁਰਸ਼ T20 ਵਿਸ਼ਵ ਕੱਪ ਲਈ ਟੀਮ ਦੀ ਅਗਵਾਈ ਕਰਨਗੇ।
All the plans gone on behind the scenes to get to this point. Sort of known for a while. I was going to lead the team at the World Cup, so like I've said, it's just a huge honour, and I guess now the excitement really builds over the next month before we get there.
How do you feel though? Are you still pretty in shock, or is it all sunk in, and what's the response been?
No shock. Really proud. It's not every day you get to captain Australia and lead them to a World Cup, so that's very exciting. But I think one of the best things about our team is that we've got a lot of great leaders that will lead our group and give it our best shot.
And you've been into plenty of World Cups before, but how does it feel different now as captain? Does it change anything you do?
To be honest, I think that's one of the biggest things I've learned is to not change too much. Obviously there's a lot of preparation and planning that goes into a World Cup, and that'll happen over the next month, but once we get there it's keeping everything nice and relaxed and keeping the environment good and making sure we go out there and give it our all.
And the squad included a few surprises, maybe with Fraser McGirt left out and Steve Smith left out. Was that a surprise to you?
No. Look, I mean, any time there's a World Cup team picked, there's only 15 and some guys have to miss out, but I think we've got a really great squad that we've picked. We've got a lot of versatility, a lot of experience, and that brings a lot of excitement.
Absolutely. And do you think that's the end of Smith's T20 career for Australia, or do you think he has another crack down the line?
That stuff's not for me to decide or comment on.
How's your hamstring been?
The hammy's good. It's coming along really well. It's pretty much exactly where we want it to be. So, it's one of those things. Just got to get it right over the next 3 weeks and get on the plane.
You wasn't planning to be home, but have you enjoyed being back here?
Yeah, look, it's obviously really disappointing not to be playing with Delhi. The IPL is such a great tournament, but it has been a heavy sort of 18 months on the road. So to get home for the last couple of weeks and spend time with family is really important for me. So there's always a silver lining.
I think you mentioned previously about your relationship with Pat, but have you learnt from him in the last few weeks before it got announced that you'll be captain about what to do or learn from him? What's he said to you?
I think we're always in communication as mates and I guess as leaders, but no real conversations around the cricket side of things, just always checking on each other, and as I've said many times, we're great mates, so I'm looking forward to working with him over the next little period of time.
And you guys are potentially heading into the World Cup as favourites this time around with a very strong squad. How does that sit with you?
Yeah, the favouritism stuff is always interesting for me. I think if you look at this tournament now and you look at all the teams around the world, I don't think there can be a favourite. There's probably 5, 6, 7 teams that can win it, and we know that in tournament play it's all about getting things right at the right time and winning big moments, so that'll be a key focus for us.
And you got to play the first half of IPL. We've seen some pretty wild scores being put up by the batsmen over there and some pretty wild things. Is that something you think will come to the World Cup as well, big scores? I think I'd probably only be speculating around that, but there's no doubt that some of the scores in the IPL have been incredible, and I'm not sure I'll be lining up to bowl in the future over there, but the game's evolving, the game's moving forward, teams are going harder in the power play, that's been a real trend, but it's about getting on the ground, assessing conditions over in the West Indies. Then they can sometimes be very different to what we face in India, so we'll play it as we see it. And the group's got a pretty special opportunity to basically unify the big ICC trophies, which would be an amazing achievement for the group that's had a lot of success. Is that something you guys have focused on or considered?
Look, I think that's not necessarily something that we focus on as a group. It would never have been done before, so that will be special, but there's so many things you got to get through throughout a World Cup before you even get a crack at that, so look, that's probably for the external noise outside of what we're trying to achieve and what we're doing as a group, but I guess the carrot's there.
And Ashton was probably a bit of a surprise call into this group. What does he bring to the side?
Yeah, I think it's maybe externally a surprise, but internally, especially in these conditions, he's going to add a lot of value to our group. A left arm spinner, in those conditions, he'll play a vital role at some point throughout the tournament. And we also know what Ash brings as a person, which is really important for me as a leader, not just about cricket. So yeah, rapt for him to see him back in Australian colours where he belongs.
And 6 West Aussies in this side, does that make you a little bit proud being West Aussie?
Yeah, I tried for 15, but George and Andrew McDonald knocked me back, unfortunately, so couldn't get the Scorchers team over the line. But yeah, I think it's a credit to WA cricket. You know, we've bred a lot of these guys into the system, and it's great to have that much representation at a World Cup.
So your hammy's ready to go now that you're not rehabbing, or where is it at the moment?
Yeah, no, if we had to play tomorrow, I'd be in a bit of trouble. But yeah, still a couple of weeks away, and the timing probably sits perfectly, barring no setbacks.
So moving into June, you'll be completely fine, ready to go?
I'll be on the plane, ready to go.
And David Warner selected for his last tournament. Does that bring up any emotion for the group, and how's it going to feel with him pretty much having his last hurrah?
Yeah, it's been a long last hurrah, hasn't it, for Davey? No, we're always really excited to have him in the team. Just the experience that he brings. I think if you look back at his career, there's been so many big moments that you need a big experienced place to stand up, and Davey's always been one of those. So yeah, we're lucky to have him.
And I know you said before you've sunk in and you knew you were going to be captain for a while, and you're just about to head into the tournament, but you have a chance to reflect on the legacy the Marshes are having for cricket. You guys, your dad, your brother, you've had an immense impact on Australian cricket and WA cricket in particular. Have you had a chance to sit back and reflect on that?
I guess it's not really something that you reflect on whilst you're playing and in the moment, but obviously, you know, cricket's been a part of our family for as long as I've lived, and longer. But we're proud West Australians, and we've always represented Western Australia to the best of our ability. And I guess one day we'll be able to sit down and have a cold beer and reflect on, I guess, how lucky we've been to do what we do.
This is Indo-OZ Australia, and you're watching Indo-OZ News, the voice of unity.